Disturbing TikToks that'll keep you up all night. Let's dive in.
Breaking news at this very moment. I've had the opportunity to see the pictures from this incident that were given to us from a family member of someone who was actually on board. This is a Delta aircraft in which you can see is physically turned upside down. Imagine sort of the ceiling of an aircraft, a plane. It is literally on the runway. A plane quite literally flipped upside down. The conditions on the ground in these pictures show some snow, show some ice. So presumably that might have been the reason that we might have seen this incident actually occur. You could see people surrounding this Delta aircraft, the Delta insignia very clearly visible. Again, this was a aircraft heading from Minneapolis in landing in Toronto. Working to get more information from both Delta, the airline, as well as the folks on the ground, first responders, and of course, the airport in which it happened. But for right now, we know that all the people and the crew are accounted for.
I've never heard of this many plane accidents in my life. What is going on?
Breaking.
We're in Toronto. We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down. Fire department's on site. Upside down. Everybody, most people appear to be okay. We're all getting off. Some stuff going on. We're in Toronto.
You're looking at video right now of an upside-down Delta regional passenger jet. This is in Toronto at Pearson International Airport. It is unclear how the plane got to be upside down. It was arriving from Minneapolis. We know 8 people have been injured. 1 person has been airlifted. Joining us now on the phone, Lawrence Sandin. Lawrence, first off, tell me who you are and give me the update.
Hi there. I'm Lawrence Sado. I'm a supervisor with Peel Regional Paramedic Services. We cover what is considered the Toronto airport, but it's in our area in Peel Region.
And so what happened?
I don't have the exact time, but we got the call for a plane crash at the airport. We've responded. We have multiple units on scene. I can tell you we had 9 patients total. We've had 1 child that was taken by land ambulance to one of our sick kids hospitals in downtown Toronto. We've had another patient airlifted to a trauma center we have in Toronto. And the rest of our injuries are mild to moderate, with most of them being able to walk on their own.
Thank goodness everyone's alive. But 8 different airplane incidents within a month is a lot. Air Canada plane makes a rough landing at Pearson Airport.
Air Canada 840.
Whoa!
Departure 128 today.
Go around.
Air Canada 840.
Nope.
Air Canada 840.
Whoa!
Departure 128 today.
Go around.
Air Canada 840.
Nope.
Unbelievable. That was a little bit too shaky. Everybody on that flight is gasping. What do you think's happening with these airplanes? Drop it in the comments below.
Oh, I got their ass now. Check this out. Your entire life, you've been wondering, especially now. After they got rid of those airships, they implemented these, right? These are airplanes, okay? Now, I'm going to say this with my chest, and I'm going to stick by this no matter what. I don't care what anybody says. These right here run on air. I'm going to show it, and I'm going to prove it to you, because it's a big, ruse, deception that they put over your eyes, and I'm going to show you. Now, look, this is an airplane. These are most commercial liners. You ask any pilot, you ask any of these people, any of them, they could be watching this right now. They're going to tell you the fuel is in the wings. They're going to tell you it's in the wings. You heard your entire life. You see it here. You can look on diagrams. You can look on their little blueprints. Fuel is in the wings. First of all, if you're an engineer, why would you put the fuel in the wings? Now, they're going to tell you some bullshit like, oh, to balance the plane so that you're not going to put the fuel in the wings. You're not going to put the fuel in the wings because there's too many components. You know how many flaps and things that are inside of these wings? I'm about to show you out right now. Look. So as you can see, there's a problem here. You got a lot of components in this wing. And as you can see here, this is a breakdown from the Britannica that actually admits, and I will show you, that there are no fuel tanks here. You look at the whole brain, take a look at that. Y'all can freeze frame and do what y'all want to do. This is not my fault. They messed up, and I'm going to show you. First of all, let's just remember, they want to tell you that the fuel is in the wings. And they want to tell you it's in there to balance the plane. Look at the wings. Look at the wings, okay? Who is putting the fuel in there? Let me show you how much fuel goes into these planes and how much they're telling you is in there. According to the Airbus A380 specifications, each wing can hold 38,569 gallons. 38,000, yes, I said that correctly, 38 goddamn 1,500. Are you fucking kidding me? In the wings? Whose idea was, yo, let's let's make sure we make a space in the wings for all of this highly flammable jet fuel. That's a great engineering idea. Come on. Look, this jet refueler has a 10,000 gallon capacity. Look, that has a 10,000 gallon capacity. But they want to tell you that this has a specification that inside the wings, it can fit 3 times the... Why y'all playing with me, man? According to the official narrative, the Airbus A380 has a capacity for 120 tons of fuel in each wing. Look at those wings. Why did we even let them fool us into thinking that this was legitimate? You have got to be kidding me. If you look at this structure right here, you're going to want this to be as light, strong, and as light as possible, just like a bird's wing. You don't want anything in here. Definitely not tons of fuel, okay? If you did have fuel, you put it on the back end belly of this here. There would be nowhere else to put the fuel at. So I don't even know why they even tried to lie and say there was fuel in there. We're going to blow this. At 38,569 gallons, this is basically the calculation right there. The estimated weight is 116 tons. That's 20 adult elephants on each wing. Who's engineering a plane so that it has 20? Come on, man. Come on, man. This is the Concorde. Where were 100 tons of fuel stored in the Concorde? That's the specification. Oh, they're going to tell you that. Yeah, 100 in the wings. This is the Concorde. Fastest plane ever built. Look at it. Breaks the sound barrier. Look at it. You think you're going to put some highly flammable, just think, you're going to put the highly flammable substance in the one part of the plane that takes the most part of the stress, which is the wings. It needs to be the thinnest and strongest. Did nobody think about this? Come on, man. Yeah, I know y'all waking up now. This is basically a turbine engine. And basically what it does is it sucks air in, like a turbo. It sucks air in. And when it sucks the air in, You see those big fans as they get smaller and tight? It sucks the air in and then it starts to compress it. And then it gets to here and it compresses it more and it shoots it out. That creates compression. It does the same thing up here. These are compressed air engines. Basically, the plane runs on air. It just sucks the air out the front. The only thing the plane may need some fuel for is takeoff. That's why when the plane does take off, you hear like a tiny little bit of turbulence, like shh, like a rocket a little bit. And then after that, the plane just takes off and you hear absolutely nothing. Sound. Because the plane is now sucking in and taking on air. It is not running on fuel. That is complete bullshit. This is the inside of a wing. Take a look. There's no section in there for fuel. You wouldn't put a section in there for fuel, so there isn't one. That's what it looks like when you open a plane wing. This is another one right here. Look at that. Look, you see the piece of the plane? You see that? That's like a cross section. Like I just came like Magneto. Cut it right in half. Take a look. Where would you put the fuel in there? Where would you put these tons of fuel they telling is stored in the wings? There's no fuel in there, man. It's ran on air. Think about it. Like, doesn't it make more sense? Big, huge air turbines, they suck in the air and they propulsion, just pull the plane forward. That's why the plane's mad silent while you're going through the air. You ever notice, look at how big the plane is. Plane is like, 2-3 planes might make up a rocket. Look at how much fuel a rocket burns just to go all the way up in the air and how much flames it gives off. You're telling me a plane's just going to be taking off as big as it is and it's not giving off no flames or doing nothing like a rocket, but it's burning fuel like that? Nobody thought about that? The rocket burning fuel, you see that. Plane ain't burning nothing. Watch this. So as you can see, that plane took off nice, smooth, no burn, no after, no fire, no nothing. It's a big, huge plane taking off. Supposed to be burning mad fuel. Nothing. What did you see? Air. Now let's take a look at the stress test because I did one more thought that they weren't going to figure out. I said to myself, they do stress tests on these planes, right? So when they do the stress tests on these planes, I'm pretty sure if they're putting fuel in the wings, they're going to put some kind of liquid or fuel in the wing when they stress test it, right? Let's take a look. No liquid. So let's just keep it a buck. If that was their stress test, they didn't even put any liquid in the wing. Where are those tons and gallons of liquid that you put in there to test it so that you can see how it will react in real time with all that fuel in it? But come on, man. Airplanes fly on compressed air. Jet engine is a free energy machine. Now you know.
The jet fuel hoax. Airplanes fly on compressed air. The jet engine is a free energy machine. Damn. It is impossible for the wings to hold that type of liquid. Man, did y'all know this? I did not know this. The whole time I'm thinking the jet fuel is just in there. Like he said, they might just need a little bit for takeoff. But after that, you don't need it. Drop your thoughts below. Am I tripping? But this seems valuable, man. I thought maybe they was harnessing the ether, but no, they're just using the air turbines to keep it going. Wow. So plane tickets should be like $10 or something, man.
So we're going to do what we can and then post it later. But we do want to show you some of this stuff. This is kind of a once in a lifetime
He's
opportunity for
supposedly
us.
in the
so
wing
we're really happy to see it.
plane.
We are in, as you can see, it's not one big open fuel tank. You want to look down here. You can see that the fuel tanks are actually divided by walls. This keeps the fuel from draining to one side or the other.
You put fuel liquid in there, and these aren't rounded.
And then, of course, each fuel tank is actually almost completely separated. And there's a series of pumps and hoses that helps distribute the fuel during flight.
Does it even look like liquid was floating in there?
And also between the fuel tanks to make sure that the flight stays balanced. In fact, I remember when we brought the plane over, we kept fuel in it just because the plane is so efficient. Fuel's really needed for ballast, and so we kept some of the fuel in it and drained it when we finally got over here to make sure it came over smoothly when we were taxiing.
Oh yeah, keep explaining how fuel is in
So we're
wings.
gonna head out, but before we do that, I wanted to show a few things off. So I'm gonna ask if Austin can bring the camera over here. So this is the wall. They're doing some work upstairs. This is the wall to the fuselage fuel tank. So that's
Does that look like fluid has been in there,
and then
floating around?
It up here. You notice those two
Wires?
darker nuts and bolts that are coming out. That is
Y'all
part
got
of the
wires
system
going through
that's
the
gonna
fuel
be,
tank.
Holding up our wing walk. So you can see how they actually use holes for that were already in the aircraft to then use them to support the wing walk. So we're going to go ahead now and make our way out through this kind of labyrinth to where we came. I'm going to grab the light so we don't leave it in here.
Come on, man, stop it. Y'all don't put no fuel. Look,
And our tour guide that you'll see in front of us, this is
there's supposed to be
Jeff
fuel in there.
Rimbez,
Look at these boxy.
with Delta Tech Ops. He's been one of the guys working on the wing walk.
They want to convince you that fuel was in here. Fuel. You made a fuel tank, and you made it square, and you made it boxy for fuel to be sloshing around in here. Does it even make sense? Does it look like those were for... What engineer is going to make that so that that's inside the wing, floating with fuel? Look, these are wires. Any spark can happen and blow the entire plane up. This is inside the wing that they want to believe they're refueling. Wires. Inside the fuel tank. Wires. Wires. Floating in jet fuel. Come on, man. Now we're going to take a look at a guy refueling a plane wing. I want y'all to pay close attention to the angle. First off, he's hooking this up. Look at that. It's not even open wide. And you'd think that'd be open because they're supposed to be pumping 12,000 gallons of fuel in here, or 12,000 pounds of fuel. That is supposedly connecting underneath this wing to that. Now you see the attachment. How is fuel, gallons of fuel, flowing through that? Gallons.
This dead man, fuel is getting pumped into the plane. As you can see on the gauge, our target is 12,100 pounds. Once the top number hits 12,000 pounds, I will let go of the dead man, and fuel will continue to enter the plane and it will stop around 12,100 pounds. And that's it.
12,100
When fueling
pounds.
is complete, the equipment is safely disconnected.
So you're going to tell me that this guy right here just took this hose right here. Look at that, almost looks like an electrical. Look at that. Why isn't that wide open? You telling me he just took that and connected this, whatever that is, to this, and pumped in 12,000 gallons of liquid through that attachment. Are we really that stupid? Guys, just look at that. Just look at that for a second. And then let's ask ourselves something. Who is going to take a liquid that you're pumping and go underneath the plane and pump it up into the wing? This is the wing. The wing that we know ain't no fuel in. But somehow they just took that device and they pumped 12,000 pounds of liquid in there. Now, let me ask you a question, right? Because they're not using, they're trying not to use liters and then trying not to use gallons. They want to say that you want to use pounds. What if the fuelers don't even know that it's not fuel, but it's compressed air? And that's why it's being put in there by the pound. Because why would you go underneath the plane against gravity? If you're going to put liquid in something, are you going to make it so that you have to go up underneath so that you're going against gravity? Does that even make sense? And the attachment. Look at the attachment. You can already see how small this is, but how is 12,000 gallons of fuel coming through there? They didn't think we would think or even ask these questions. So is it true a 747 fuel capacity is 63,500 gallons and burns a gallon a second, as that is the equivalent of 8 tankers of fuel? Look at the pilot. Close to it, yeah. Has a total fuel capacity of 203,000, which is 66,000 gallons. Capacity is about 75,000 gallons. This only holds 10,000. None of this shit makes any sense. I'm only saying, if you guys are telling me you guys are putting 38,000 gallons of fuel in the tankers, but in the planes, but the tankers only have 10,000 in there, that means every time a plane lands at an airport, there should be at least 3 to 4 tankers pulling up, and they should be unloading and emptying mad fuel into that plane. Oh, and by the way, we cannot forget, all of that fuel is stored in the wings. The wings. Although, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, modern passenger jets don't have fuel tanks. Don't blame me. They're the ones trying to convince you that this guy is pumping 38,000 gallons of fuel into that wing. And you and I both know that's a little difficult with this hose and that tiny ass attachment. So let's not even go there. Let's not. I don't care if you're an engineer. I don't care if you fuel planes. I don't care what you do. You're not smart enough. These people who fuel the planes, they don't even know, because they would ask questions. Why would you even put a fitting underneath a plane wing to install liquid into it? Why is no one asking questions? Stop drinking tap water, please. All my days.
That's my boy, One Foul Vow. All my days. Oh my diddy. That didn't age well. Oh my diddy, but he used to hit that.
Okay, let me explain the trickery to you here. Have some kind of flame is coming out because they're heating up all this compressed air, right? You know what that means? Whatever air... Okay, let me explain the trickery to you here. Basically, what happens in a plane is this is designed to suck in air at a high rate and create like a turbo engine to basically suck in air here, pressurize it, and blow it out the back. That pushes the plane forward. The only thing this fuel injection atomizer is used for, tiny little spark of fuel in here, this will create thrust. When do we need that thrust? Takeoff. For 1% of the plane's functioning, takeoff. The whole rest of the ride is just sucking in compressed air and blowing it out the back. Watch this video. At the end, I'm going to cap this together and show y'all, because what y'all don't realize is this system shows you that these afterburners are burning the whole time and fire is coming out the back. And it's not. That's why when you're on a commercial airliner and you're looking at these, you don't see any fire coming out the back. You see them on jet fighter planes, don't you? Why? Because they are thrusting and using fuel the entire time.
We will explain the technology behind the jet engine in a logical, step-by-step manner. A jet engine keeps an aircraft moving forward using a very simple principle, the same that makes an air-filled balloon move. Yes, Newton's third law of motion. Just like the reaction force produced by the air moves the balloon, the reaction force produced by the high-speed jet at the tail of the jet engine makes it move forward. So the working of jet engine is all about producing a high-speed jet at the exit. The higher the speed of the jet, the greater the thrust force. The thrust force makes an aircraft move forward. Such high-speed exhaust is achieved by a combination of techniques. If you can heat the incoming air to a high temperature, it will expand tremendously and will create the high-velocity jet. For this purpose, a combustion chamber is used. An atomized form of the fuel is burnt in the combustion chamber. Effective combustion requires air to be at moderately high temperature and pressure. To bring the air to this condition, a set of compressor stages are used. The rotating blades of the compressor add energy to the fluid, and its temperature and pressure rise to a level.
I worked for Boeing for a long time on 737 and 747. I can't say that I ever seen a fuel cell. The way everything is riveted, high lock to fasten the various skins to structural framework, I don't see how there wouldn't be many small leaks. There would absolutely have to be a bladder. That's why I showed you that video of the guy inside the wing. Anybody with half a brain knows you would have to have some kind of enclosed bladder system for a flammable liquid. I seen first and had to seal certain areas myself, but the sealers they use would never in a million years hold up at every fastener location or skin lap. No way. There should be thousands of photos of fuel bladders for the millions of planes built over the decades. I can't find any. This is a person who worked on these planes. No fuel bladder. No fuel bladders for any planes. And no, there isn't just fuel loaded into a wing with a bunch of rivets where it could just leak out at anywhere. You and I both know that. Maybe because planes don't actually use fuel. Compressed air engine technology. Here's the actual translation. There was no fuel in the system. Therefore, evidence that it crashed due to a lack of fuel. There was also no fuel in the APU. Therefore, strengthening our hypothesis. This is the autopsy of a plane wanted to try and excite it because it was out of fuel, but they found no fuel anywhere in the plane at all. What you would see consistently coming out of the back of a plane if it was burning fuel the whole time. Like jet fighters. Hear that sound? Now, I got one more thing to show y'all, because everybody's a skeptic, and I get it. They want to tell you that combusting fuel consistently on a flight This flame is coming out because they're heating up all this compressed air, right? You know what that means? Whatever air is coming out of the back of here, this burner, should be like 1800 degrees. It should be scorching hot. It shouldn't just be pressurized air, right? Because if I'm right, then a bunch of extremely high pressured air should be coming out of the back and not flames, correct? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. This car is in front of the engine. It's behind the engine. Look at what the engine is doing to it. The engine, it's so powerful, it just took the car and threw it. It just threw the car. Now, no flames. Now, do y'all realize in that video, that car sat there and let that plane just blow on it for like 5 to 8 seconds before it blew it away? Was that car being bombarded with high heat? Did the windows get melted off? Did you notice that the window was actually open? So the driver wasn't even worrying about high temperatures. Why? That engine is taking Jet A1 fuel, burning it, right? And it's blowing it out the back. So what happened just now? Because I'm sorry, but it just looked like a car got blown away with high pressure air. Y'all want to keep explaining and talking about fuel in these engines? You've been lied to. Okay? Do your research. You've been lied to. And if you even calculate how much fuel these planes need to use that they're claiming they use, you'd realize, yo, they're not using fuel. They're not. You'd have to be burning a gallon a second. Come on, man. One more time. No fire. Nothing burning out the back. But somehow this plane is producing a lot of power, enough power to throw a car across a football field. You seeing what I'm saying? When I tell y'all these motherfuckers use air as the fuel, listen to me. These are air turbine engines designed to suck air in, compress it, and blow it out the back. If you can prove me wrong, by all means, go ahead. F-14s, the jet fighters in the military, their afterburners are on consistently. They're using fuel. These are using air. That's why those ain't even called airplanes. They're called jet fighter planes for the jet fuel they use. These are called airplanes for the air fuel they use. Bye.
Man, I never knew this, man. I'm starting to think, what if the airships used this technology back in the day? What if they knew about how these airplanes use these air turbines and they slapped a couple on the side of a airship? Not an airplane, an airship.
I assume the Hindenburg event was planned to show how dangerous this cheap mode of transportation was, so they could stop it. A lot of people don't realize or know that there was a false flag attack. Basically, sure the cameras are rolling and they make sure something happens to induce fear. The Hindenburg was an airship that basically on national TV, which I'm going to show you, on recording in like early 1900s, somehow, some way, they just so happened to catch the one and only airship ever. I mean, when y'all watch the video and y'all hear it, y'all just going like, y'all gotta have to listen to how it plays out. It's such a play. You could just tell they're acting. The guy, he's, oh, this is so sad. Oh, And then that was it. They were like, yeah, we can't fly airships anymore. That one blew up. Meanwhile, because they filled it up with something that was flammable, because airships, then they don't even have anything in it like that that can. This is how long airships were in operation. Round trip crossing the Atlantic. Across America. 144 flights. Look at that. Airships were used by the military. Used in war. Used in intercontinental. Intercontinental. Intercontinental means from Europe to America to Africa for years. How many times did the Hindenburg fly before it blew? 63 times. This thing done flew 60 plus times before it blew. But they made one scheduled video recording and then canceled all the airships. That's like no car accidents at all, anything happening at all for years. And then one car crashes and catches on fire and they're just like, yeah, man, we ain't using no more cars. Recall all the cars, just cancel. And this is how they did it. Because people don't realize, right? They realized early on that hydrogen was flammable, and so they switched to helium. What they did with the Hennigan was, though, they put hydrogen in it so that it was flammable, so that they could set it on. Now, I want y'all to take a look at this video and tell me what you think.
Again she dumps ballast, and a nervous tension grips those who are watching, for this is something unusual.
Real footage. And listen to the announcer as he's choreographing.
There goes more ballast, but the tail is settling in spite of all that has been dumped. A grim note of impending tragedy.
What is a grim note of impending tragedy? How are you building up something that's supposed to be a tragedy? Almost like you planned it to happen.
Finally, the landing lines are dropped. These scenes were filmed by Pathé News cameraman William Deek, and you are about to see the pictures.
Huh? What? Is that even... What? Let's back that up for a second.
Ship destroyed in less than half a minute.
How are you talking about the actual crash before it happens? Like, what? Now, I mean, y'all tell me, is this not like the fakest false flag of an airship you've ever seen? And they just so happen to catch this on camera? Come on now.
And he made a good point. It's like, if one car got into an accident, you got to take away all cars. Come on, man. What type of sense does that make?
1937. Come on now.
Rushing to the rescue, the heroes of the tragedy dash in, heedless of danger.
Tragedy, tragedy, tragedy. Like, come on now. So, I mean, really, if you think about it, what's the 1 in 10 million chance that out of all the 1,000 airships we have flying around, that y'all just so happen to be filming at the exact moment that one of the famous intercontinental airships...
Yeah, guys, that's wild, man. It seemed like a setup to me. For entertainment purposes only, do your own research on everything. You need to dive into a little bit on airships. You know, a quick recap on airships for everyone who hasn't seen it. Knowing this, what we know now about this this airplane engine and how it can just be off the air. We were thinking it was off the ether. You know, maybe they were charging off the ether. No, but they might have had this air turbine going on the side of these airships, and that could have propelled it. Let me know your thoughts below, but let's check out these airships.
I discovered a puddle underneath the ocean, yo. Just when you thought you knew it all, right? And I know y'all remember the old person that was telling us back in the day, like, they went inside of the ocean and they basically couldn't descend under it because it was like another ocean underneath the ocean that was so like dense that he couldn't do it, right? This is real, yo. This is how you know that there's a separate realm underneath. Look at that. As above, so below. This is the guy that I was talking about, the dude that had went underneath the ocean. Y'all remember? Look.
And inside the ring of missiles was a lake. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm already underwater.
Crazy.
Over the water in this lake and tried to descend it.
And he couldn't.
It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't.
They told us in Moana that there's an ocean underneath the ocean. That's the entrance to Hollow Earth, y'all. That's why the water's like that. Then you peep what's underneath Hollow Earth, yo. Just a theory. Who's to ever know, yo? Like, this could really be a portal to Hollow Earth, or places like that could really be portals, yo. Or they could be wormholes to Atlantis, and that could be their stars. Whoa! Oh my God! Somebody discovered a puddle underneath the ocean.
Hey, we getting too much information. It's coming out. How to get to Hollow Earth. Y'all better stop playing. It's time to buckle up, bucko, because we're going to Agartha.
Because it was like an ocean.
Oh, no. Oh, man. They got to land ASAP. They got patches up there in the right wing. Yeah, y'all gotta land. We gotta get patches on down. That's crazy.
One of the other lands in our realm that is heavily restrictive on our travel and exploration. They tell us there's nothing in the North Pole, just ice sheets. But looking back at hundreds of old world maps depicting something much different than we've been told, all showing the same 4 islands with a mysterious black rock mountain in the middle, said to be a magnetic mountain. And not only are they depicting the same land, but they say they were inhabited. Just look at some of the descriptions, even a Tartarian village. The famous cartographer Mercator in 1577 wrote a letter to a friend in England, describing the north as this: in the midst of the 4 countries is a whirlpool, into which there empties these 4 indrawing seas, which divide the north, and the water rushes round and descends into the earth, just as if one were pouring it through a filter funnel. It is 4 degrees wide on every side of the pole, that is to say 8 degrees altogether, except that right under the pole there lies a bare rock in the midst of the sea. And it was far from just one cartographer. Chinese, Japanese, the world over were showing us the same. These cartographers at the time, jobs and reputations depended on their accuracy. They weren't just going to repeat something unverified for centuries. There has been many detailed lands in this realm that have been erased, not just the North Pole, but places like Friesland. But what do you think, signs of a reset, or cartographers copying each other? Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Friesland? I never heard about that. We gotta dive into that. Maybe they meant Finland, but Friesland? That might be completely different. Alright, I found some stuff on Friesland. Let's see them break it down.
Suddenly, sometime around the mid-1600s, the Great Lakes appear out of nowhere, and California is now an island that ships can sail completely around. How did that happen? From 1650 up until around 1810, the Great Lakes are consistently shown, One thing that really stands out is that Cannabis was clearly there right up until around 1810, as was California an island. On the maps from 1810 and onwards, Lake Cannabis is nowhere to be found. The Great Salt Lake appears west of where Cannabis used to be. California is no longer an island, and maps are lacking any detail of the whole area. Something drastically changed the topography of the land. But what? When we look at Africa, we see the exact same thing as the southwest U.S. This time, an elongated blemish with a bulging southeast side. Also with major geological desert and destruction to its southwest. But before 1660, it was Lake Zembre on every map. Lake Zembre is always right there, due west of the northern tip of Madagascar, just southwest of Lake Victoria. Need more proof? All that's left of it today is a huge dry scar on the African continent.
All right, here we go. Friesland. This is what I've been waiting for. But the Great Lakes, that's interesting too, man. So if you guys know what happened, let me know. Drop in the comments below.
Mercator Arctic map shows an enormous island called Friesland, due west of Iceland, just south of Greenland's southwest indent. It had 6 major cities, 3 small towns, and its own coastal island chain, and a partridge and a pear tree. It was so important to the region that Mercator gave Friesland its own blow-up in the upper map corner. Van Dodecam put Friesland on his 1605 map. Same place, same shape, same name. Plancius put it on his 1605 map. Tijode, 1593, Friesland. Google Earth 2019 underwater. Due west of Iceland, just south of Greenland's southwest indent. Friesland. Mercator.
So what could have made Friesland get submerged is my question. What happened to Friesland, y'all? It got completely eviscerated off the map. What type of water pouring technology happened? It says Friesland is an island that appeared on virtually all the maps of the North Atlantic between 1560 and 1660s. You can even see the towns are named. What happened to it? All of a sudden it stopped appearing on the maps. Where is it? Is it still there, but they just not showing it on the map? This is truly a mystery. Look, it had mountains and hills. What is that though? Got like some type of serpent out there protecting it. It's got trees, it's got a town. Friesland. What happened to Friesland, y'all? This is a mystery.
Did you know that there's an island that vanished just off the coast of Great Britain? The island was called Frisland. Nobody knows what happened to this island, but it appears in maps from the 1600s. Here's what Wikipedia says about Frisland. Frisland is a phantom island that appeared virtually on all maps of the North Atlantic from 1500s. It also states that Frisland never existed. Cartographers believe that the island was real because of a map. Maps are artifacts, which are facts. So here's what a shipsman wrote about his encounter with this island. His name was Nicola. Nicola claimed that he began his journey from Venice to England in 1380. He wrote that his ship was blown off course and wrecked on an island named Frisland. After the shipwreck, he met an explorer named Zimini, who ruled the island. Zimini rescued Nicola and his crew and made him admiral of his fleet. Nicola attempted to invade Iceland and he was forced back. Nicola stated that they attacked several other islands after the invasion of Iceland. Nicola also claimed he travelled to Greenland and discovered a monastery with central heating. Nicola asked Antony to join him in Frisland. Antony complied and the brothers served in Zimini's military campaign for 14 years. So here we are, this place even had its own military. The second part consists of the letter written by Antony. He wrote that they experienced dangerous encounters with cannibals and wild animals during their travels. The stories by the fishermen inspired discovered the island. The depiction of Frisland varies in maps. In between Greenland and the United Kingdom, it comes in different shapes, closer to Greenland, sometimes further away. So there we are, the mainstream narrative again denying its existence, whereas maps actually show that there was an island present, and I wonder what could be underwater.
What could be underwater, man? What type of artifacts? They got an entire land. We need to LiDAR that entire area and see what's really there.
That is my mind.
They said a Viking graveyard. How crazy is that?
Countries that no longer exist. Friesland. So Friesland was exist in the year 10 and was destroyed in the year 735. And later in 1101, the country was back, but the name was Frisia. And in 1526 it was destroyed again. And now it's a
Do you know why this Phantom Island appeared on maps for centuries? Friesland and its accompanying towns and outer islands appeared on notable maps between 1558 through the mid-18th century. The origin comes from the Zeno map, created by Niccolo Zeno based on a journey his ancestors Antonio and Niccolo, a different one, took around the year 1400. Allegedly, the two brothers spent many years traveling to these and other Phantom Islands. If you want to hear more about the Zeno brothers' journey, be sure to like and follow.
Nah, that's crazy. This has to be AI, guys. Drop your thoughts below. Look at these different. This is nuts. This is like he got a brain inside. Only 4 digits. This looks like Yoda's granddaddy. No neck with giant arms, depicting giants possibly. But what makes me think this entire thing is possibly AI is look at the rocks at the bottom. You see that, how it goes in and out? I'm telling you, it's getting better and better. Pretty soon we ain't gonna be able to tell, y'all. But it's like we fighting the agents in the Matrix right now. We gotta be able to spot the agents. Better lock in and buckle up, bucko, and keep your head on a straight swivel.
St. John the Divine. This is in New York City. Look at when they're gonna tell you was. This is the St. John's Cathedral. St. John the Divine. This is in New York City. Look at when they're gonna tell you was built. 1892. And then they got their occult priestess. They go and make up this BS. Work continued until 1911. There was no work that was continued. Delete this. Once they find the building, the next thing they got to do is implement them. Here's Cram and Ferguson. Cram and Ferguson ain't do shit. Y'all ain't do nothing. Construction began in 1892. And then what? What is this? 1892, 8. And then what? Damn near 20 years later, the building was completed and done already. What was y'all continuing on? Nothing. That's what they do. They'll put scaffolding on this building and have guys work there so they can put down, we renovated. They didn't do shit. And then they put this. In the popular Byzantine Romanesque architecture, it's Tartarian. Ain't no Byzantine, Romanesque, Victorian, none of that. It's Tartarian. Wait till we get to the good part. Take a look. Look at this building. Look at that. They want to tell you in 1892, they constructed that perfect building with perfect sacred geometry, with those arches and all that. With that beautiful glass sacred geometry window and all that. In 1892, with no aerial lift, no power tools, and no trucks. Stop. Then they went inside and they did this. Look at the ceiling. Look at that. I've shown y'all this. Y'all done seen this before in my videos. Y'all seen this before. Take a look at that. 100% Tartarian. Y'all know what Tartarian 1892? Y'all was doing this with what lasers? This is all perfect. This is the perfect. See, what they don't understand is these buildings are built with the perfect phi ratio. They can't resonate without the perfect phi ratio. Any engineer knows
In order for something to resonate or everything to work, everything has got to be gapped a certain way. Even your spark plugs in your car. If your spark plugs aren't gapped right, your car will misfire. All of these cathedrals are perfect. Why? So that they don't misfire. Let's keep it going. 1892. Look at that. Look at these columns. Look at how high they are. Look at the intricate work. Look at the glass work. Look at the symmetry. Are you kidding me right now? This is Tartarian. Y'all didn't make nothing. You didn't touch this building. You had nothing to do with it. This building is the perfect golden fee ratio. You didn't touch this building with your sad, pathetic, primitive hands. Look at this shit. This is on the outside of this building. In 1892, somebody carved the World Trade Center on here. In 1890, water crashing down and knocking everything over in New York. Look at that. That's New York. But this is the important part. PCs are going to come and they're going to say, oh, they added this afterwards and we renovated and we... Look beneath it. Look right here. Those are Tartarian. Look at the people. There's some people working under here, right? And then right beneath that, Tartarian buildings. Why would you have Tartarian buildings? Look at that. Look at that cathedral-like top right there. This is telling you that underneath New York City is a Tartarian city. And they can't tell you, oh, they added this on afterwards. Oh, they added this on and what? They put a Tartarian city beneath it? And one more thing. Look at this. This is one piece. You ain't adding nothing on or adding nothing. Look, it goes from here to the top. That's one piece. This is one piece. You see these waves? This is one solid piece of stone. Wasn't renovated. Nothing was added. This was done in 1892. Point blank, period. I'm sorry, but is that the Brooklyn Bridge up there? I think that's the Brooklyn Bridge. And it looks like there's a car that came through the Brooklyn Bridge, is crashing down, and in the back, the same thing. We got water waves. Look at the people underneath. Look. Look. Remember, this is one solid piece of stone. This is 1892. No power tools. This one right here looks like the music industry. There's music, there's people around it. Look at these people that are underneath. It's like the music industry, and they're like on top of these people. Look at all this information in here. They were trying to tell us something. They were trying to tell us something. We have to read into what they were trying to tell us. This was carved in 1892, no matter what nobody tells you. And you got this one here. Just skulls, bones. But then look beneath it. It's like angel wings, or I can't necessarily depict what that is. But again, this was carved in 1892, one solid piece of stone. The statue on top, same. There's statues on top. One solid piece. One solid piece. Ain't no renovating. Ain't no white NPCs gonna sit there and talk about how, oh, we touched it up and... No. Y'all ain't touch up nothing. This was all done in 1892. Point blank period. So the images I just showed y'all, all of them have these statues above them. One solid piece. Now you have to ask yourself, how is it in 1892 the Tartarians knew One, we were going to build this building. Two, a wave is coming at some point to put this city underwater. It's coming. They showed you the movies multiple times. How many images in your head have you seen New York City underwater? Somebody knows something. And the somebody that knows literally built a Tartarian city underneath New York City. There's a Tartarian city underneath our city. And a wave is coming to reveal the truth.
What's that famous psychic? I can't think of his name right now. But a famous psychic did say a giant wave was coming. What was it? Edgar Casey, I think. I think it was Edgar Casey said something about a giant wave is coming. Drop y'all thoughts below, man. How did they make this? How did they know this was going to happen, y'all? And let's go back to those wings, he said. Here it is. Right here. If you look carefully, I couldn't tell you, man. It looks like some type of seraphim, it looks like an angel. Or this one right here looks like a hawk with wings. This one looks like a bull with wings. And this has a human face. So I'm definitely getting some type of cherubim angel vibes and some giant skulls on top. This is crazy. Where is this at? Where is this located so we can see this, is my question. We have to analyze everything. Put everything under the microscope. Try to reverse engineer everything. As far as New York, a Tartarian civilization being under New York, we all know about the underground tunnels, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a whole entire network under New York. Drop y'all thoughts below.
Remember when I told y'all about the Brooklyn Bridge? This structure here that I told you they didn't build, right? Well, when I told you they didn't build this structure, I need y'all to understand. You see this piece right here? And you see all of this? That's what they did. That's what they attached to the structure. This structure here, they did not touch, they didn't have anything to do with that structure. I'm gonna tell you exactly what this structure was for, and it wasn't for that. And I'm gonna tell you how I know they didn't build this bridge is because they discovered a bunker in 2006. Now remember, this bridge was supposedly built in 100 years ago, right? They built this bridge. But somehow in 2006, like 100 years later, they're just now finding out that there's a bunker inside. Now, is there a bunker inside of this? There's not a bunker. It's simply a Tartarian structure, and you know this thing, it goes all the way down into the ground, like all the rest of the structures do. But in order to explain that away, they tell you there's a bunker in it. But at the same time, what are they admitting? Y'all didn't build this. You know you didn't build this because if you did build it, you'd have the blueprints for it and you wouldn't have had to discover that there's a bunker in something that you built. Let's keep it moving. A Cold War bunker was discovered in Brooklyn Bridge in 2006 during a routine structural inspection. Discovered the bunker while inspecting the bridge's masonry foundations. Y'all ain't even know it was there. If you didn't know it was there, you know damn well you didn't build it. Okay? Let's keep it moving, shall we? This is what the bunker looked like. Look. Archway. Look. Archway. Y'all already know. Y'all already know who built this. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man. I'ma have the receipts. Like, I don't even know why they lying at this point. Come on, you see the brick and y'all ain't even know it was there. Come on, you know what year, you know when they said they built the bridge. Meaning whenever they said they built it and it was already there, that means it was probably there 50, 60, 100 years before they even said they built it there. You got to keep that in mind too. We can't go with, oh, the New York City subway was done in 1904, so we built it in 1904. No. That means it was there in the 1800s and the 1700s, because y'all ain't built it. Just like y'all ain't built the Brooklyn Bridge, because y'all ain't even know this was there. Some of y'all want to know how the bridge actually worked. That brick structure that you saw was just like these things. Literally. It was for a bifrost. It was for a bifrost. You have to open your mind up so that you can understand that the world we have now, they stripped it of magic. They had the magic then. That's why you see things like this. That's why you don't understand it, but for your entire life you heard about a rainbow bridge, but you never put the connection together. That is the Bifrost. That is what they used. There was a light beam going through the arch. So basically this right here would have been the Bifrost. That would have basically been coming through the archways on the bridge.
I'm with you. It sounds cool and all, but why you gotta throw up that sign? That's my thing. Why you gotta throw that up when you pointing? You just can't put your finger up and be like the Bifrost. I like Bifrost. I like Thor. It sounds cool. But why you gotta throw that up? Why?
These two archways. Beam one, beam of light. Activated by yours truly. Of course, they would have like a Tartarian Moor in there with a key or some kind of device to turn the Bifrost on and off. They put these things right in front of you. They have to, through the looking glass. Sometimes you just gotta put the pieces together. Sometimes they put these things right in your face and they just don't think you're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out though.
The Bifrost. How cool is that? That would be cool, you know? It's hard for me to envision it because we so far down the line and we so, lost in the system, but, I kind of see it. Drop your thoughts below.
It's also a little bit like the call that Neo is getting in the Matrix.
He said that this bed is from 1500.
This bed is from the 1500s? 1500s. This is solid wood.
Yeah. But they bought it, they bought the bed, they bought the statues and the sky apart.
And how? How do you carve color into the, I don't...
It's polymer. You know what polymer is?
No, I don't know what polymer is. Oh, a polymer.
Yeah. What is it?
A polymer.
From the shell of fish, etc.
How old is this?
1,000 years old about.
This is 1,000 years old?
Yeah.
They did this 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
That artwork on that bed is insane. If we looked at the writings on this dresser right here, it looked Chinese or Japanese that they found this. But why would you put like those faces on there? Like, look at these faces. Like, if I were to own something like this, I wouldn't say put these these faces on there. Put like a lion or a tiger, you know, a peacock. I don't know, anything but, you know, these creepy faces all on that. Who wants to be stretched out, like, you know, looking at that? Then they mouth start moving at night and their eyes start blinking. Oh no.
Just to let you know, they stole our entire realm, killed off all the creatures, and lied to us about it. Now I'm going to show you some things. You're a human being, you have eyes, you have a brain. Use your discernment. A lot of you have seen and loved and had a thing for dragons your entire life. And deep, deep down, you know for a fact they existed. But with your history books and how much you've been lied to, it almost seems like it's a fable. Does it not? Stay tuned, because we're about to find out exactly where our dragons are. What does that look like? Just looks like a rock, right? It's just a rock. It's nothing special, just a rock. Or is that a petrified dragon? Man, more of these odd-shaped rocks. Or is that a petrified dragon? Hey, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. Or maybe that's a petrified dragon? Guys, what do you think this looks like? Look at that. What do you think that is? Like, what do you think this is? Look at this structure, right? I want y'all to be smart. I'm trying to make you as intelligent as possible so you can see this realm for what it truly is. Look at that. Look at the whole area around it, right? And then out of nowhere, it's... What is this? Again, can anybody... Are these more rocks? Are these rocks? Or...
They look like scales. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like scales.
Did a dragon fall here and was petrified over time? Do those look like... You're not sure. You're not sure, are you? Hold on a second. Does this help? Skin cells under a microscope. Man walking on skin cells. Look at the size of those. Look at that. Unless, I don't know, come on, man. Y'all, you know, the white NPC geologists, you know, they're going to tell you the rock formation, water came and it made those rocks look like... Look at that. You're wondering where your dragons are. They're petrified. And you're walking on them. Look. What does that look like to you? What does this look like? Look. You're just walking. Walking on this dead, petrified dragon, and I have absolutely no clue. Yeah, exactly. Just taking a walk on dragon meat. Doo-da, doo-da. Taking a walk on dragon meat. Oh, doo-da day. Where are the dragons under your damn feet? Pay attention. Oh, this is gonna get better. You know it's gonna get better. Oh, looks like some petrified dragon meat. I guess he's gonna cut that out and do something with it. You probably, what do you think? That you think that's just rock, right? Right? I know how bad you want to unexplain this. I know you want to be like, oh man, he's reaching. Am I really? Oh, stay tuned. Boom. What does that look like to you?
What does that look like? That doesn't look like, that don't look like meat.
That looks like straight bacon.
That don't, what do you just think that's a rock? Okay, I'll keep going. Where'd all the dragons go? Where did they go? They were petrified into crystal. And now we sell them as antiques. Human mind is so fickle.
This dude is hilarious. Shout out to I am Damian Michaels, man. He said fickle. And he mentioned fable in the other video. He said this is a fable. Who says that? This guy. Oh my God.
I just thought I'd give y'all a close-up. Just in case, you know, you're gonna share the video and be like, man, he's off his rocker. He's talking about we're walking on petrified dragon remains, and I think he's out of his. What does that look like to you? You're hungry right now. You are, because you want to put that in a pan. You know exactly what that looks like. Mm-hmm. It's a slab. A slab of petrified dragon remains. It's gonna get better. Sit right there. Just in case, you know, you were still being a little skeptical, like, no, it's a rock with a. Does that look like a rock?
You know, the crazy part about all this looking like meat and dragons, I believe there's a verse that says we should eat the Leviathan, literally. And it says, thou breakest the heads of the Leviathan into pieces and gavest him into meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to eat the Leviathan or not, but that's what it says. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that all these petrified rocks resemble meat, and then we got scripture on it that they said this 1,000 years ago, kind of is lining up, if you ask me. Drop your thoughts below.
You want to sear that, don't you? Uh-huh. Look at that. You keep wondering where your dragons are. Everything's right in front of you once you have the eyes. What does that look like? If I didn't already tell you what this video was about and I posted that, you'd be thinking, man, why is he making a video about a bunch of chopped up meat? Correct? Look at it. Look at the surrounding area. Be smart. And then look at it. Don't sit there and tell me, well, yeah, you know, the rocks in that area just formed into, what, meat-looking rocks? Wake up, people. Oh, I got more. We're going to become educated on petrified dragons today. You see that skin cells flaking off. Look at the skin surface right here. Do you see this? Do you see these formations? You see this, right? You see all of this? You see that, right? Remember that? I just showed you that. Remember the little fat layer, then it was that, then right? Wait till you see the next clip. Look, anatomy of the epidermis. You see that, right? You see it? Okay. What do you think this is? What do you think that is? I'm not even going to say anything this time. You go ahead, use your own discernment. I know. What are they going to say? Yeah, the rock, the water came and it created this different kind of, what, epidermis? And the rocks? Let me cap this off real quick. Mm-hmm. If we just took out this part right here and I just showed you that, what would you do? You would slap some garlic, pepper, onions on that, and you would smoke it, would you not? Boom. What does that look like? It's petrified dragon meat.
You want me to show you where our dragons are? I'm gonna show you right now. It's gonna disgust you. Our dragons are in our living room. Yeah, they were petrified in the earth and we took them out and we made furniture out of them. Pretty much. Yeah. Dragon. Petrified. Dragon. Unless you have another explanation for this, what does that look like to you? Dragons have always been here. All kind of majestic creatures were here. Do you think we were just creative enough to make these things up because human beings are just so creative and innovative? I doubt that very, very much. And judging by what you've seen today, you tell me. I need to buy a spectrometer so that I can go and take a chunk of this, put it in a spectrometer, and see what kind of DNA I get. Because that quote-unquote rock used to be organic. Good night, TikTok.
You know, he gives off this creepy vibe, but not a lie was told, man. It's you got to keep one eye open around him. But not one lie was told, man. Oh my God.
So these are made out of pure marble. The security guard said that the marble came from Italy and some marble came from Georgia. So if you do the research of this place, you're gonna find that there was a fire, like there always is in 1916. There was some mysterious fire. And these are all different, by the way. And these are all solid marble, made out of solid pieces of solid marble. By the way. And yeah, this is you know, this place was completed. Let's just take a look here. This place was completed. Look at this. This place was completed in 1925. It was started in like 1916, 1917. Do the research. And then, in 9 years later, it's just 9 years later, this is complete. So, yeah, I'm here because, you know, I have to see it for myself.
Cathedrals are absolutely beautiful. I can't name a more beautiful spot, you know, from something created by man. If it was created by man and not, you know, the fallen angels. You know, those cathedrals, they go way too hard. Drop your thoughts below.
Operation High Jump. We need to get into this because they lied to us about everything, including what they were doing there. See, what they ran into in Antarctica was they ran into an opposition. That's why they immediately needed a lot of military help. That's what Operation High Jump was about. And we're going to get into exactly why they call it Operation High Jump. Because they are trying to high jump their ass up out of here. Operation High Jump was a 1946-47 expedition to Antarctica that involved the following events. Check that out. It involved 13 ships. 13 ships? Think about that. 13 naval ships, 25 aircraft, 4,700 men. What did y'all need 13 ships, 25 aircraft, and 4,700 men for? Operation Look. Establish a functional base at Little America, quote unquote. And for weather stations. Why would you need weather stations where it's freezing cold? For what? Operation for mapping. If there's nothing there, what are you mapping? Deployed over 4,000 men, 13 naval ships, right? To test the ability of military operations in the polar environment? You mean to tell me y'all sent 13 naval ships, 25 aircraft, 4,700 men to Antarctica to just test stuff in the cold? We got Alaska for that. You could have did that in Siberia. You could have did that in Greenland. You could have did that anywhere. But that's an excuse. Because when they went to Antarctica, they needed those naval ships, they needed those aircraft, because they were running into these. Because they were trying to escape someplace and get into another place where whoever was there did not want them there. Otherwise, why would y'all need fighter planes in Antarctica? Fighter planes in Antarctica. Planes that shoot. Not planes that take pictures. Planes that shoot. Because you're fighting something. These people right here, these secret Jesuit people, all these Newton physicists and all these other NPCs, these are the reasons why you think you're on a globe. It's because of these individuals. The truth of the matter is, if this is the only picture you have of your globe, you should be questioning it. And never, ever, ever in history has anyone ever recorded anything leaving the ground here in Earth, going all the way out into space, and then looking back and seeing anything that resembles this. Never, ever, ever. Anytime you even see a video, it's a rocket, the rocket goes up, 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 then the rocket just hits something and comes right back down. It hits something. Take a look at this rocket. As we see here in Eastern cosmology, the firmament is a celestial barrier that separated the heavenly waters above from the earth below. The firmament is the vast solid dome created by God during Genesis to separate the primal sea into upper and lower portions so that the dry land could appear. Look, you got the ocean, you got earth, you have the firmament, and then you have the sea above it. Notice how the ocean is blue and the sky is blue. As above, so below. Let's see what the Simpsons have to say about that.
Knock one out of the park. We're back. It's a long fly ball going back, back. and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Now, we'll be right back after this word from oxygen, which Homer desperately needs to live.
Okay, does somebody want to tell me why the Simpsons did this whole entire scene, and it could have went a multitude of ways? He could have just hit the ball out forever. The ball could have hit a star and bounced off, right? It could have hit the sky and just cracked it, right? No. It hits the celestial barrier. Water comes crashing down. But it's not just water. It's the ocean. The sea ocean. Oh, here comes the ocean coming down. There's sharks. There's whales in there. Ocean life. This scene could have went a multitude of ways, but it didn't. They had to show him hitting the celestial barrier and the ocean coming down. As above, so below. They put it right in your face. This right here is where we are. That's our Earth. That's our ice wall. That's where we are. That's why they claim we're on a globe, but we're not on a globe. We're on this landmass surrounded by ice. This is what Operation High Jump is all about. High jump. They want to get up here and they want to escape here.
Damn. That makes sense. Did you see that? I'm gonna let them finish, but look at this. If we take it back just a little bit. Damn. All these different realms. That is insane. So when we say that there's a firmament over this entire realm. And then you just got these different ice wall barriers before you get to each one. So it's lining up how you would need a submersible and something that could fly. So you can probably go under the ice and then over it. Under the ice, over it. Under the ice, over it, you know? And some of them may be bigger than this. This is just a great explanation.
This is what Operation High Jump is all about. High jump. They want to get up here and they want to escape here. Here is where there's a dome. There's a dome covering this whole entire thing. A firmament. A celestial barrier. That's why this organization came up with this treaty. And if you notice, this treaty right here is designed to keep us out because they don't want us to find out about the other continents or the other land masses that exist outside of our own landmass. So just trust and know there's a lot that goes on beyond that ice wall in Antarctica than they're telling you. Because they're out there battling a war because they are trying to basically escape this realm or escape this firmament. That's what NASA is for. That's why they make rocket ships. That's why they make them big and strong. They're trying to blast through the celestial barrier. Now, we may not have all the pieces, but trust and believe, we're gonna figure it out.
So basically what he's saying is that there's a firmament protecting each little earth pond, is my guess. There's a firmament over this. But that means those spacecrafts can get through it, or they had to get under it. I don't know, y'all. Y'all drop y'all thoughts below. That's wild. If you made it this far, type Toronto plane in the comments so I can personally thank you for making it this far. This was TikTok so disturbing that they will keep you up all night. I'll see you on the next one.